Okay, so it's in 3 pieces. James, did you remember to bring those photocopies? Okay, next time. Tomorrow, huh? I'll go get my book quickly.
Do you need a book?
Yeah.
Who needs this? I've got some.
I have the Bhashya.
Oh, okay.
Bhashya should be enough, right? Yeah.
Still help on that.
Oh, here we go.
Pretty accurate. Maybe not here. Not coming. Maybe online.
I think he's out of town.
Huh?
I think he's out of town.
Oh, he's out of town still. Come forward. Rama. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vaivasvataya Mrityave
Vaivasvataya Mrityave
Brahma Vidyacharyaya
Brahma Vidyacharya
Nachiketa Secha
Nachiketa Secha.
Avantara Bhashya. What is Avantara Bhashya? Huh?
In between.
Linking Bhashya. Upodghata Bhashya. What is that? Upodghata Bhashya. Opening Bhashya. Avantara Bhashya. Linking Bhashya. In between. Upasamhara Bhashya. Huh? Concluding Bhashya. Very good. What is Bhashya? First let's understand that. What is Bhashya? Commentary. Okay. So this we have not seen, I think. The linking Bhashya between the second and the third boons. Not the second and the third verse. Second and the third boons. I explained the Bhashya, but we have not seen it. So basically this is, it's a very important connection he makes. And I'm just going to summarize it because it's a little, it's not easy to, the grammar is not that easy to follow. I'm just going to summarize it for all of us for Sukha Pratipatti. What is that? Sukha, easy. Pratipatti, pat to fall. Pratipatti, so that it falls in the mind easily, for ease of understanding. Okay? So, Sukha Pratipatyartham, I will summarize it in English and then we will look at it and enjoy it in Sanskrit. So that then we'll already feel like experts. This is a trick. Yeah. So this is how it goes. He says, Etavadhi, this is up till this much alone. This much means what? What is signified, indicated by the two boons, constitutes the outer edges of samsara. The shores of samsara is what is gained by the first two boons. Meaning what? You cannot cross samsara. You can just get to the edge of it. And look at Brahman, look at moksha, and you can wave to moksha, but it'll never be understood as you. What is moksha? Freedom from despair, freedom from sorrow, freedom from fear, freedom from anything that is anartha, that you don't want. That is moksha. So you can kind of see it in the vicinity, but you cannot go there. And this is very interesting because the freedom that we are talking about, the moksha, there is no going or coming. Yeah, it is already you. That is the whole idea. Even though it's you, it appears very distant because it cannot be reached by the first two boons, which signify, which are based on actions and which are based also on finite actions which produce what kind of results? Equally finite results, which is really not fine with us Vedantins. The finite is that which is never fine. So we are looking for the infinite, which happens to be your own nature. And so we can see the metaphor here, that Adi Shankara is trying to evoke, is that you're standing on the shores of samsara and look wistfully searching for that Brahman which is already you. The person keeps on looking. When will I get darshan? What's going to happen? How am I going to do this? Oh, this is already ending. The father that was propitiated in the last boon is mad again because something happened. His holiday got spoilt or something happened. So what to do? One boon has already been used up. So this is the whole thing, And he says that not only in terms of these two boons, but the metaphorical significance of these boons is what is conveyed in the first portion of the Veda, about which we have discussed in this Upanishad, in the Upodghata lectures to this Upanishad in great detail. So the first portion of the Veda has to do with wish fulfillment, has to do with means and ends that can be gained here and now through karma, etc. Now we are on to, Adi Shankara says, we are on to another topic. What we want is kritarthatvam. Kritam artham yena. Artha is human longing, desires. Artha is that purpose of, that is in the life of the human being. Dharma, artha, here artha means what? Security. So you can take it as security, or you can take it as the gamut of what is represented by the gamut of human desires. The human desires represent what? You don't really desire that you are wanting. You're wanting something else. And that something else is really what is artha. You can say security, self-acceptance, a sense of fulfillment here is the best translation. Kritam artham yena. For one, akritam here means accomplished. By whom? Yena. What? The fulfillment. The whatever is signified by the desires. The sense of fulfillment is not there in the first two boons, because samsara is all about what? Band-aid, cover up, badge up, put all the dust of the ragadveshas under the carpet and then, pretend as though it is clean. Yeah. There are different ways of cleaning. Yeah. What is the quick way? Yeah, put everything underneath. And this is what they do. Sometimes when they invite the Swami to the house, that too suddenly they get the idea, oh, it will be nice to have a visiting Swami come. And then there's no time to clean. Then what happens, in India at least, I don't know about this country, in India they put because the houses are small, but the desires are not small, and the collective tendency is not small. So in these small apartments there will be large number of things, possessions. So they put it all in one corner and put one embroidered tablecloth or bed sheet, rather, a double bed sheet on it. And during my last trip, I visited somebody's house, and something got disturbed there, some equilibrium, and the whole thing under the very interesting thing, the only thing that stayed up was the cover, the bed sheet stayed up, and everything escaped in some clanky sounds, clang sounds, everything escaped from under the covers, laid bare the skeletons. And so this is there are ways of cleaning, correct? So this is what is called, this example is what is called the patch-up job that we do with reference to one's pain, really. The pain of existence. And what is this pain of existence? Being born in a place of not knowing who I am. It's a very chronic pain. It's a costly pain. In fact, that's the only pain. I don't know who I am, and therefore all these activities, therefore all these desires, therefore all these useless engagements, You don't know the secret of minimal engagement. We have to learn that. And so, Adi Shankara says that in the first two boons are marked by several things. One is akritarthatvam. One is not kritartha. There is no sense of fulfillment. Why? Because as soon as you pray for the glass to be full, then you drain it and finish it, and then it is empty again. And then you have to pray again. So your whole life, you're either praying or praying upon, sometimes both, on all kinds of things. You're keeping on, it does not, akritarthatvam means a state of affairs where the wanting person is still kept alive without interrogation, without introspecting upon the nature of the wanter. The wants are kept alive because the wanting person is given CPR all the time. Clear. The wanting person is not allowed to die, even out of despair. He's never allowed to die. And so the wanting person is constantly kept resuscitated on life support with a feeding tube. And, even if the person says, oh, there is no hope, still the society will ensure that the wanting person is kept alive. Come on, don't lose hope. Next time you'll be successful. Next time you'll be fine. Next time you'll get something. Next time you'll be okay. How many next times? Next lifetime. That's what. And the wanting person, when the wanting person is kept alive, there is akritartha. The person will always be unfulfilled. This akritarthatvam will not go. That is the first significance of these the two boons, is that one gaining which one is still left unfulfilled. The second point that Adi Shankara makes in this Avantara Bhashya is what? The second point is very interesting. He says that the second thing in the gamut of these desires, the second thing that is very apparent is that in the first two boons, the agent, the object. What is the object? Subject and object. Agent is subject. So agent, object, means and the purpose. These are, what are they? These are the first four cases. Called? What are cases called in Sanskrit? Quick. Quick. Vibhakti, each one. Karaka. Factors involved in action. Karaka. The causal factors involved in the reproduction of an action or in the production of an action. And what are these factors? For action to take place, we need minimal two things. What are they? First vibhakti. Now here you can say vibhakti. Vibhakti means that line, the first line. First vibhakti, second vibhakti. First karaka. What is the first karaka? Karta. Karta. Without karta, how can there be action? Karta means agent, actor. So the act, the person has to take on the persona of the actor. Correct? Mm-hmm. So the actor, the agent is the first karaka. And what is the second karaka? That which is acted upon, the subject, karma karaka. So the actor and acted upon. Correct? Mm-hmm. Supposing I want mango, I, an agent. Who is the agent? The desirer of mango. Correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because first I was just a wanting jiva, let us say. And then the wanting jiva takes on the persona of the agent of the want, owns up the want. Oh, mango, yes. Now I have a new status, the agent of this desire. So the desire assumes a tadatmya with this jiva. The desire first associates with this jiva, and the jiva owns up the desire as my desire. And in relation to the potential fulfiller of the desire, takes on the persona of agent. So now in relation to the mango, what have I become? Not just a simple ignorant jiva. What have I become? Huh? No, karta.
Karta.
Because where is bhokta? Mango is not in the vicinity anywhere. Do you see mango anywhere? No. So therefore, so I am a karta because now I have to produce the mango from somewhere. So first the jiva associates with the desire and becomes the desirer, which is a precursor to actor. So that morphing has taken place only because of the identification with the desire. So the karta is born, the potential karta. And what does this karta do? Karta goes to the shop, right? Yeah. And then looks at all the mangoes. Much to the chagrin of the grocery in charge. They don't like you to do this, but you go and pump each and every mango, smell it and hug it and find out which is ripe to be eaten just now and all these things. And those people will say, all right, just pick one. Then you pick one, stand in line, and then what? Hope that it will be given for free. It is not. So you have to pay for it. For which reason you need a job. So then you have already, got the job, hopefully. And then you pay for the mango. Now you have become the possessor of the mango. So now you have produced the mango. You have, become the possessor of the mango. So in relation to you, what is the mango? You are karta. What is mango? Karma. Object. Correct? And the purchase of the mango, what is that? An action. Kriya. Kriya karaka upabheda, he calls this. So, the first two boons are characterized just like this mango shopping example. All of which, leads to or is incumbent upon or is dependent upon the split between the agent / subject, object, action, and for the sake of what? The desirer, sampradana. Through what? Through the money. The money becomes a transaction through which the mango is procured, and so this kriya karaka phala. What is the phala? Here the phala is the mango. Amra phalam is the phala. The phala is the phala. Correct? What is the fruit? Fruit. Which fruit? Mango fruit. The fruit is itself the fruit. So the first two boons are basically incumbent upon the series of actions that split up this, this Brahman, this Ishvara, this Atma into subject, object, dative case, instrumental case, And so the Atma is as though riding on all these various changes. Now I cannot fulfill the desire for the mango without taking myself as the desirer and without taking the mango as an object of fulfillment seriously. I have to take the desirer seriously. I have to entertain the desire seriously. And I have to go about seriously fulfilling the desire. And why am I using seriously so many times? Because this is a serious issue. Meaning what? Seriously means really. Yes. So I take the desirer to be real. I take the mango to be real. I take the action of procuring the mango to be real. I take the, what is that thing called? The third karaka is called what? Karana. The instrument, which is the money here, the job, money, etc. to be real. And I also take the final thing, the fruit, which is the mango in this case, to be real, eating which, gaining which, I will feel fulfilled. That fulfillment also I take to be real. Do you see that? Yeah. So that is the problem here. Because how many reals there are, really speaking? One. And who is that? I. You. I or you, make up your mind. So when I say I, when you take it, you cannot say, when I say talk to you, I say you. Okay? Yeah. That Tvamasi, the teacher will say, And what do you take it? Aham Brahmasmi. You don't repeat Tattvamasi unless you are teaching someone else. So this is what it is. So here there is only room for one real, which is Atma. Correct? So many reals, then of course you get very confused. So the first two boons are characterized by the reality slipping under the radar of too many competing realities, which are too many competing rather non-realities which are taken to be real. So therefore it is not possible to understand the Atma, because even if such a person who takes the desire and the mode of fulfillment of the desire seriously, pursues the Atma with that mindset, the Atma will be one more thing to add to the list of wants. But Atma is not one more thing to pursue. It is the thing, the only thing, the real thing, not Coca-Cola. It is the real thing. It is the only thing and the real thing to pursue. So therefore what? So therefore we have to transition, Adi Shankara says, through the third boon, which is characterized by two things. Which is what? What are the two things? It is characterized by Kritarthatvam. What is Kritarthatvam? Atyantika Kritarthatvam. Then an absolute fulfillment. Why? Because the second portion of the Veda, the Upanishad, characterized here by the third boon, focuses on not fulfilling of the desire, but the liquidation of the status of the desirer itself. Like how you liquidate a company, I like this word. Liquidation of the desirer, meaning no more. No more filing income taxes, no more private limited. Private cha, limited cha. Yeah, so no more private cha, limited, private cha, asau, limited cha, no more. And no more filing taxes, no more wanting a place in the whole thing. Yeah. Here the bankrupt jiva, bankrupt of the karakas, files for liquidation and liquidates this desirer inc. Yes. Desirer incorporated. Yeah. Corporated here means with the physical body. Yeah. Yes. Desirer incorporated, desirer incarcerated, however you want to see. Incarcerated by desire. Yeah, 3 TP. And so, so this is what is liquidated in the second portion, which is characterized by total Kritarthatvam, means in this liquidation of the agent, Karana, what is Karana? Instrument, and the fruit, etc. All those are liquidated, because who is the agent? Aham. Who is the fruit? Aham. Who is the, what is in between all the action? Aham. Actorless? Aham. Who is the means? Aham. So all that is there is the I, which is sans the division between the agent, object, etc. And so from the third boon onwards, we understand that the agentship, the desirership, which precedes the agentship, the upakarana ship, what is the karana? Instrumentship, the for the sake of the purpose ship, the fruit ship, is all superimposed as it were on the I that is without any ship. Yes. This is what he is trying to say. And therefore, this transition, he says, is very important, because now we are going to see, and also he doesn't say this, but I'm going to say, I'm going to tell you what he's going to say a little later. Because the first two boons are tangible. He's not saying this. This is my own observation. Because even though they are sukshma, like father's mindset, you cannot objectify very easily the father's mindset. But the father's mindset is evident, whether he's frowning or smiling, or whether he's sleeping nicely at night. So in a way it is tangible. Correct? Father's mindset tangible, And then what else was the second boon? How to go to heaven. Heaven intangible. But how to do the boons? How many bricks? How many bricks? Quick. 720 bricks. Tangible. It's a tangible number. Whereas this one, being yourself, is intangible. He's going to say that later. This is the third difference between the things. So the other two, with difficulty, you can even fulfill it yourself. But the third desire for the truth of oneself, you cannot fulfill it without a teacher, because it is really centered on the desirer, liquefying the desirer, and that is what has to be achieved. So in these three ways, this segue becomes important, because these are the 3 points of departure between the first 2 boons and the third boon. Now it's going to be so easy. You see, it will go like butter. Yeah. Etavadhi atikrantena vidhi pratishedharthena mantra brahmanena avagantavyam yat varadvaya suchitam vastu. Yeah, we'll start at the we'll catch the verb avagantavyam, to be known. This has to be understood. This is to be understood. What is to be understood? You know what is to be understood? Etavadhi. Only this much alone. Atikrantena, without crossing. Etavadhi atikrantena. This much alone. Boundary. Atikranta here means boundary. This is the boundary. This is what is indicated. This much alone is indicated. Yeah. And which is, this much alone is indicated, which is avagantavyam. Kena avagantavyam? Mantra brahmanena avagantavyam. How is it understood? Through the mantra and the brahmana portions of the first portion of the Veda. Mantra brahmanena avagantavyam. Through these first mantras appearing not in this second portion, because there also there are mantras, through the first portion of the Veda and through the prose, the brahmanas, which talk about the wish fulfillment, that only we can get. What can we get? And also, what do the mantra and brahmana specialize in? Vidhi pratishedharthena, that which is understood primarily through injunction and prohibition. That's all the first portion of the Veda does. Prohibition. Don't do this. Vyanyana vadyani karmani. Then what? No itarani. No means no. Prohibition. That's how the word no came. Yeah, it's a Sanskrit word na plus u. No. U means indeed. Yeah, that's how. English, yeah. No itarani. No translation needed. Injunction. Prohibition. What is an injunction? Dharmanchara, satyam vada, dharmanchara. Now again followed by a prohibition. Swadhyaya an ma pramadaha. Ma doesn't mean mama. Ma means don't. Ma is another word for no. Ma pramadaha. Acharyaya priyadhanamahritya. Injunction. Please give Guru Dakshina to the teacher. When? Before getting married, because afterwards you can kiss goodbye to controlling your finances. Immediately followed by a prohibition. Prajatantum ma vyavachhetsihi. Ma vyavachhetsihi. Do not disturb the lineage, your contribution to the lineage, either by having children or by becoming such an exalted personage in the lineage that you don't need to have children, both ways. So this is what is, so you see how the injunction is quickly followed by the prohibition. And then the prohibition is again, annannanindyat, do not waste food. Tadvratam, this is your commitment. This is a commitment to not wasting food. Yeah, we don't throw food away. And so, this is what is the series of injunctions, prohibitions. Injunctions, that's all the first portion is. And so through the mantras and the brahmanas and through the language of injunction and prohibition, etavadhi atikrantena, beyond this you cannot achieve anything else. Mantra brahmanena avagantavyam. This itself is the topic of the first portion of the Veda. So what happens as a result of that? Then further, So what is that? Yat. So what is this? Where do we see this mantra brahmana? Yat, in which varadvaya suchitam vastu, suchitam indicated. So what is indicated by the two boons is only this much. What is this much? This much means that which is the subject matter of the mantras and the brahmanas, and that which is given in the form of injunctions and prohibitions alone. So what is not included? Because if I say this is only this much, something must be left out. Let us see what that is. Na atma tattva vishaya yathatma vijnanam. Na also means no. So here it means not. So na, not atma tattva vishaya, not the topic of the truth tattva of the atma, of oneself, not the topic or the subject matter of the truth of the atma, the knowledge, vijnanam, the knowledge of the truth of the atma, yathatmyam, yatha atma tatha, tasya bhavah, yathatmya, tasya bhavam, shyanj is the pratyaya. And so yathatmyam, it causes adi vriddhi. So yatha atma. How do you say yatha atma means as the atma is? How do you make that into a abstract noun? You use shyanj. And then you use it as a suffix. So yatha becomes yatha, Yathatmya. Yathatmyam is exactly how the atma is. That kind of knowledge. The knowledge that is true to the nature of the Atma. Which is not, see, this is a big point of departure. In the first case, the Atma is split up into the real, as though it is real, doer, done in, etc. And then you see so many Atmas, correct? You take so many realities. And so that is ayathatma, not according to, not according to how the Atma is, not in keeping with how the Atma, the self is. Here, this is exactly how the Atma is. That is exactly how this Vijnanam, that's why the word Vijnanam is used. That it's a special knowledge which is free of any defect. So this Vijnanam is exactly how the Atma is, that is how it is. And what is this exactly how the Atma is? Atma Tattva Vishaya Jnanam. This Jnanam, which the topic for which is Atma Tattva Vishaya, is not included in Vidhi Pratishedha, in that which is communicated by injunction and prohibitions. So, that is what is said here. Kincha. Oh, okay. No, I'm reading somewhere else. Oh, I'm reading earlier. Okay. So, now. अतः विधि प्रतिषेध अर्थविषयस्य क्रियाकारक फल अध्यारोपलक्षणस्य स्वाभाविकस्य अज्ञानस्य संसारबीजस्य निवृत्त्यर्थं tad viparita brahmatmaikatva vijnanam kriyakaraka phala adhyaropa lakshana shunyam atyantika nishreyasa prayojanam vaktavyam iti uttaro grantha arabhyate. Yeah, only he can pass off one paragraph as a sentence. Yeah, let us see. Very involved. That's why I translated it in the beginning itself. So, what does this sentence really mean? Ataha, that we all know. That's very easy. What does ataha mean? Therefore. Therefore, thereafter. Yeah. So, therefore what? So, therefore, hence, so, therefore what? Therefore, for the, so let us skip all these qualifications and go. Therefore, for the samsara bija nivrityartham, therefore for the nivritti, freedom from elimination of what? Samsara bija. What is bija? Quick. Seed. What is the seed of samsara? Ignorance. What kind of ignorance? Self-ignorance, not of mango. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So self-ignorance. So therefore, nivrityartham, for the freedom, for freeing oneself of what? Samsara bija. The seed of samsara. And the seed of samsara, for freeing oneself, what do we need? Tad viparitam. The opposite is what we need. Opposite of what? The seed of samsara. Now we are ready to unpack the seed of samsara as defined by Adi Shankara. The seed of samsara is qualified by 2 or 3 very long compounds. So, he says, first of all, the seed of samsara, we'll go backwards. Swabhavika ajnanam is what qualifies the seed of samsara. Swabhavika means so that you don't feel bad about it, that everybody has it. Oh, everybody has self-ignorance? Yay! You know, this is the feeling. You know, I'm not the only one here. Yippee! Then now I don't feel so bad. Everybody has it? Yes. Everybody going to the market has it? Yes. Everybody going to the mall has it? Definitely. So there is no problem here. No, there is no problem in that you are not alone. So the comfort level here we can increase so that you don't feel bad about either having the ignorance or trying to overcome it. There is no bad feeling. So he says, Swabhavikam eva. This ajnanam is from birth. And he uses the word swabhava, swabhavika. Means what? It is natural to be self-ignorant. Oh, it's natural, so why should I do anything about it? It's not that natural. Yeah. You know, in that Animal Farm, George Orwell wrote something. He said, all animals are created equal. Some animals are more equal than others. So all things are natural. Ignorance is also natural. But Atmajnanam, what is Atmajnanam? Self-knowledge. That is really your nature. Yeah. So that is more real than this ignorance. We have to understand this. So Swabhavikasya, Swabhavika Ajnana means you don't have to, it comes along for free, along with your body mind sense complex. You don't have to pay for it. In fact, you are paying through it. You don't have to pay for it. It's given free. Like sometimes when you order something, something else comes free. There is this McDonald's. People don't, the food is not great. I'm not gone, but this is what I hear. But all the children like to go there. Why?
Happy Meal.
Happy Meal, correct. That's what I was looking for. So the Happy Meal means that after the meal you get something inside the box. They will keep one toy. And for the sake of the toy, all these things. So samsara is just like that. Yeah. So many things are called happy place, happy hour. Yeah, there is such a thing called happy hour. Most unhappy. But only unhappy people go to this happy hour, where everything is half off. Happy place. Everybody has their personal happy place. In addition, there are certain collective happy places which are like Disneyland, Disney World, where everybody is, la la la, it's a small world after all, you keep singing. You feel one with everything, including Mickey Mouse, who should be at least 100 years old but doesn't show any sign of aging, who is Nitya, who becomes Nitya. That is what. So you take it all these in place of Nitya. So in that sense it is Swabhavika to search for all this happiness here and there and to be ignorant of one's nature. So Swabhavikasya, Ajnanasya, Atma Ajnanasya, and then Samsara Bija is what? Characterized by this, this coming for free Ajnana, this toy that is not to be toyed with, which comes for free in this package called Janma, correct? Which is celebrated as though it's a happy meal. It is not. But the Janma, the birth, is celebrated. And what is the other characteristics of Samsara Bija Ajnanam? The Samsara Bija Bhuta Ajnanasya Lakshanam Kim. What is the second characteristic? The second characteristic is written here, Kriyakaraka Phala Adhyaropa Lakshanasya. So, the second characteristic of this Ajnanam is the Adhyaropa. Aropa means what? Superimposition. Very good. He's getting Sanskrit. Yeah. Very happy. Yes. So, Adhyaropasya, that which is superimposed. So, what is superimposed? Kriya, action. Karaka, the other factors involved in the action, such as quick. Subject, object, means, etc. Yeah. Karaka, factors involved in the action. Kriya, the action itself. And what does the action produce?
Phala.
Phala. Phala. Here in this case of the example, phalam, mango. Yeah. Phalam means fruit. So action, fruit, agent, means, all these things are called kriya karaka phala. Adhyaropitasya. So that ajnanam, which is swabhavikam, which is characterized by being the seed of samsara, which is in turn characterized by this as though separation or as the superimposition of the separation of the agentship, actor, desirer, means of procuring the desire, the fruit of the desire, the action and the connections, the various connections thereof, the agent, the karana, the instruments, etc. So, what is this ajnanam? The ajnanam is nothing but the seed of samsara. Oh, well, you don't talk in all these. Give me straight on. What is this seed of samsara? I told you it is ajnanam. What is this ajnanam? That which is characterized by the superimposed divisions on the I, between the I as an actor, between the I which is now converted into what? Fruit of action, between the I as an agent, between the I as a desirer, between the I as an instrument in procuring the action, because all there is one reality, correct? But look at how many splits the I has gone under. It's been chopped up into pieces. Yeah. As it were. Yeah. So this I under the samsara bija of ajnanam, under this ajnanam, if ajnanam is in charge, if ignorance is in charge, the I gets dismembered into what? Actor, fruit of action, agent, object, action, instruments of action. location of action, the origin of action, fifth case, all these things. So there is this one reality which I have to understand as the truth of me. But how can I do that when the main thing about ajnanam is that it splits up this Atma Tattva Vishaya, the truth of the I, into all these as though they are self-sustaining, individuated realities. So therefore I start taking the life, the everyday transaction so seriously that there is nothing, everything becomes real. And then people say, I have no time for classes. No time at all, because I have so many things to accomplish. This is what it is. So samsara bija, which is nothing but atma ajnanam, atma vishaya tattva, atma tattva vishaya ajnanam, to be very, to make it very clear, is characterized by two things so far. What was the first thing? Svabhavika, meaning that its lakshana, its definition is that until it is interrogated, everybody has it, number one. Number two, it is characterized by this Atma Vishaya, which is the truth of I, which is whole, which is impartite. It is characterized by superimposing the split of the agent, actor, means of action, location of action, fruit of action, subject, object, etc. It is characterized by superimposing these various splits. And finally, it is also characterized by vidhi pratishedha artha vishayasya. So, what is the third thing that it is marked by? It is marked by do's and don'ts. Because that's what the whole life is about. What's the first thought upon waking up? What should I do today? Yeah. And if someone is in a real lot of trouble, like the teenager wakes up, what should I not do today? One is in a whole lot of trouble. That's the thought. Oh my God, what have I done today? What have I done? What should I not do? So the do's and don'ts. So what is ajnanam? If you want to unpack ajnanam and give it an award and introduce it, what kind of ajnanam? Atma ajnanam. How would you introduce Atma ajnanam to your friend? You would say, meet this self-ignorance standing right by my side, which is characterized just by a mundane engagement with what to do, what to not do. Not even engagement, preoccupation, nay, obsession, with what to do, what not to do. Number one, and meet my friend, Atma Ajnanam, which is characterized secondly by the various, the various splits in that unsplittable, impartite wholeness of Atma Tattva Vishaya, in that subject matter of this I, that which can never be, cut up. It manages to superimpose on this I the various the various statuses of actor, acted upon, agent, desire, fruit of desire, action, various factors of action such as instrument, location, etc. It is superimposed. Oh, that's all? No. One more thing I have to introduce my friend Atma Ajnanam. And who is this Atma Ajnanam? The one that is characterized by being swabhavika, passing off as one's own nature. In lieu of understanding truly what one nature is, this is the one that passes off as natural, meaning it is acquired without any effort. The happy meal package of the body-mind-sense complex spews up this extra toy called Atma Ajnanam. Yeah. The cause of samsara bija. Understood? See, so easy Bhashya is. Yeah. So these are the three characteristics of Atma Ajnanam. So, and then we still haven't finished it. Now, now what is self-knowledge? The self-knowledge should be different, because now we have introduced to my right is Atma Ajnanam, who has undergone this not so savory introduction, correct? To my left is what? Atma Vijnanam. How are we going to introduce the knowledge of the self? Because the ignorance was introduced on the one hand through these three epithets. How are we going to introduce self-knowledge? How are we going to characterize self-knowledge? This is what is given here. First of all, self-knowledge is called, so that there is no other confusion, Brahma Atma Aikya Vijnanam. Ekasya bhava Aikya. Aikya means what? Oneness. Eka means what? One. And how to make it oneness? In A, instead of A, you give vriddhi, and then Aikya. Same, Shanj. Shanj pratyaya, Aikya. So what is the oneness between who and who? Between fruit and actor, correct? No, wake up, yes. Between Atma, I, and Brahman. So, self-knowledge is characterized as Vijnanam. What kind of Vijnanam? Brahma and Atma, in between the two of them, Aikya Vijnanam. The knowledge of oneness between Brahman and Atma, which previously I thought to be other than me. Now it is introduced as one with the self. So, Brahmatma Aikya Vijnanam, and then that is the first name. First we introduce, standing on my left, is self-knowledge called Brahmatma Aikya Vijnanam. That's the full name. Yeah, Vijnanam, last name, Brahmatma Aikya, first name. This is the whole name. Then what is, you have to say a few things in their defense or while introducing them. So, Kriya Karaka Phala Adhyaropa Lakshana Shunyam. So this person standing on my left, who is that? Self-knowledge, is tad viparitam. First we have to see. Opposite of the fellow standing on the right. And this is a bad fellow, you know. So this fellow is totally opposite. Completely opposed to this other fellow. Is this fellow over here. And who is this fellow? Tad viparitam. Has nothing to do. In fact, they are like ships passing in the night. They don't even see each other. If one doesn't interrogate the fellow standing on the right, this fellow will not even see that fellow, because he is completely caught up in all the karaka splits. Okay. Now this fellow, first characteristics, tad viparitam, has nothing to do with the other one, totally opposite. Yeah. And I'll tell you why it says opposite later, because I don't want to lose the flow of the grammar here, difficult as it is. So this is what the whole thing is described. This fellow is opposite. What is his claim to fame? This fellow's claim to fame is that it is shunyam rahitam. Shunyam means free. Free of the agentship, actorship, means of action, upakaranas, location of action, action itself, fruit of action, subject, object, split. That which is totally free of all these adhyaropas, totally free of the superimpositions. So on the one hand, the Atma Ajnanam, which takes the superimposition to be real, and here, free of superimpositions. So think of the whole thing as a movie screen, you know. On the right hand side is the fellow, which is the screen along with the movie running on it. On the left hand side is just the screen, sans the movie. Do you see that? Yeah. Understood? Yeah. So what is the difference between the movie screen with the movie running on it and the movie screen without the movie? What's the difference? There is no superimposition. Don't talk of jivas. This is one jiva. How does the ajnana manifest in relation to one jiva? That's why I have made them into fellows. Yes. You don't bring in other jivas here, except as a factor of action, perhaps. Yeah. It's all from the standpoint of oneself, the ignorant self standing on my right, and the self-knowledge. We are embodying ignorance and self-knowledge. So ignorance as it pertains to a particular jiva we are talking about. Yeah. So no nama rupa and all this, although that is all true, what you say is correct. But here We have to look at it exactly as Adi Shankara is looking at it. So what is superimposed here, without the person knowing that it's a superimposition, with the person taking the superimposition to be the reality and therefore feeling tense and split into various moods. This is what it is, Oh, I'm no good, I cannot succeed, I'm a failure, I cannot fulfill my, desires. This hapless, hopeless fellow is produced because of this swabhavika ajnanam, because it has this primary characteristics of the kriya karaka phala bheda adhyaropa. Adhyaropa, superimposition, bheda, differentiation, kriya karaka and phala, action, factors in action, fruit of action, which also brings in agent, location, source of action, origin of action, unto whom whose sake the action is performed, etc., etc. So this is the fellow on whom all these superimpositions are taking place, and who, this is very key to understanding the definition, who accepts the superimposition as though they are real. Whereas on this side is that one whole tattva, that truth of the self, all knowing, all knowledge, whole, complete, and free of the superimposition. So that's why I gave the example, both of them are screens. In fact, they are one. The split, where they cannot stand each other, comes why? Because the movie is taken to be real. So Brahman, here now you can bring in the Nama, Rupa, Jiva, etc. in terms of the movie, which causes the wrong internalization of myself as the actor, of oneself as the recipient of the action, the fruit of action, etc. All these bhedas, the factors of action, etc., I take very, very seriously. And totally opposite is that wholeness which is free of all superimpositions, but which is also the subject of superimposition. When you don't understand the meaning, it becomes, you come on the right hand side. When you understand yourself, you remain on the left. Correct? Yeah, this is what the thing is. So the second thing is, kriya karaka bheda, second characteristic, first one, kriya karaka bheda adhyaropa lakshana shunyam. Lakshana defined by definition, shunyam, free of the definition of having the superimposition of the factors of action and the fruit thereof. Second definition of the fellow standing on the left. Atyantika nishreyasa prayojanam. Atyantika means extreme, absolute. Here it means absolute. There is no extreme self-knowledge. Yeah, maybe extreme makeover, but not extreme self-knowledge. What is extreme self-knowledge? Absolute. Atyantika means, without a residue, final, ultimate, absolute. Atyantika nishreyasa prayojanam. Nishreyasa means shreyas. What is shreyas? Moksha, fulfillment. The most exalted pursuit is called shreyas. Nishreyasa prayojanam, whose purpose is total shreyas, absolute shreyas, when absolutely, ultimately. So here is the time-bound gains which produce the bija, which produce the tree of samsara, which convert the tree of samsara, the seed of samsara into a tree, watered by the factors of action such as kriya, karaka, phala, etc. And on this side is the one free of all superimpositions. Totally free of all superimpositions. And totally free of what? One more thing. What did I just say? What was the second thing? What was the second definition of Atma Vijnanam?
Brahma Atma Aikyam, Kriya Karaka Adhyaropana, Tadviparitam, and Atyantika Nishreyas.
Atyantika Nishreyasa Prayojanam. You just have to read the Bhashya. That's all it is. Atyantika Nishreyasa Prayojanam, whose purpose is the ultimate and absolute purpose of what? relieving the making this fellow stop existing, yeah, of eating up the fellow on the right, which is Atma Ajnanam. Okay, further, so much, so for this, so Prayojanam Vaktavyam iti means Vaktavyam means what? To be listed, to be said. Iti, thus, for this reason, Uttaraha Granthaha Arabhyate, the latter text, where not in the commentary, in the Upanishad itself, is begun. Now the continuing text is begun to illustrate these two differences between the left hand side and right hand side people, and to also illustrate how the one on the left is going to swallow the one on the right. This is why the latter portion of this Upanishad is begun, arabhyate. Tam etamartham dvitiya varaprapti api prapti api अकृतार्थत्वं तृतीयवरगोचरम् आत्मज्ञानम् अन्तरेण इति आख्यायिकया प्रपञ्चयति. Let us stop there. So tam etam artham, this meaning, which meaning, the meaning that is going to be elaborated in the subsequent text, So this meaning is going to be elaborated, which is going to be elaborated in the subsequent text. Where are we? Dvitiya vara prapti api akritarthatvam. And what is this which is going to be elaborated in the subsequent text? That there is no sense of fulfillment even after the gain of the two boons. Akritarthatvam, unfulfillment. That the unfulfillment or the discontent even after getting the second boon continues. To show this, the latter portion is going to be elaborated. So why is this going to be elaborated? Because there is no other way without continuing the story. There is no other way. Akhyayikaya prapanchayati. Prapanchayati means unpacks, unfolds. Akhyayikaya, through the akhyayika, in the form of the akhyayika, ittam bhave. So through the akhyayika, in the form of this story, prapanchayati, unpacks, unfolds, elucidates, expounds, and why does it have to expound through the story? To show this meaning, etam artham, this meaning alone. What is the meaning? Dvitiya varaprapti api akritarthatvam. So praptya, even after gaining the second boon, there is discontent, and therefore the subsequent text is begun, so that through this story, akhyayika, it is being elaborated how there is discontent even after acquiring the second boon. And what else is being elaborated? Atmajnana antarena tritiya varagocharam. So Atmajnana antarena, without self-knowledge, which is gocharam, which is the subject matter of the third boon. Gocharam means which can be objectified by the third boon. What is that which is objectified by the third boon? Atmajnana. So without the third boon, there is no contentment. Understood? Yeah. So therefore, this story is going to be continued now. And why is this story going to be continued? To show this to make this very point, etam artham, this very point, What is that point? That Atmajnana Antarena, without recourse to self-knowledge, which is the subject matter, which is objectified or exemplified by the third boon, there is no hope for kritarthatvam, there is no hope for self-contentment. Understood? Yeah. So therefore the story continues and unpacks this point, and yataha purvasmat कर्म गोचरात् साध्य साधन लक्षणात् अनित्यात् विरक्तस्य आत्मज्ञाने अधिकारः इति तन्निन्दार्थं पुत्रादि उपन्यासेन प्रलोभनं क्रियते यतः, because not really because, here it means since, so not because, sometimes yataha means because, but here it means since what? Since we have seen that there can be no contentment without the third boon. Therefore the story continues with the third boon, because the third boon, the subject matter of this third boon is what? Not wish fulfillment, self-fulfillment, self-contentment. This is how it is different from the other two boons, because the other two boons leave you high and dry on the precipice of samsara, still awaiting rescuing, because really speaking, that is not going to give you kritarthatvam, self-fulfillment, even after the two boons. So therefore the story continues, yataha, since purvasmat, since the prior, since the purvasmat is from the prior, gocharat, from the prior text, gocharat, from what was known from the prior text. And what is that characterized? The prior text is characterized by sadhya sadhana lakshana. The prior text, what is the prior text? If you ask that, first text, but what if you ask, how do you introduce that first text? He goes through all the differences, all the definitions again, so that it is fixed in the mind. So purvasmat text, the first text, what is that first text? The first text has a number of qualifications. So all of them are in fifth case. Yataha, it goes with yataha, from, since from the first text, out of the first text what has emerged, we'll see later, but out of the first text, characterized by karma gocharat. What is karma gocharat? The subject matter of it is action and results of action alone. Sadhya sadhana lakshanat. What kind of action? Means and ends. So first is, it is action oriented, the previous text, and then it is also has the orientation of glorifying the means and the ends and connecting them, the two together with action. And then the third thing is anityat. What kind of action? Impermanent action. What kind of result of action? Impermanent result of action. Therefore, what kind of fulfillment? Impermanent fulfillment, permanent discontentment. So, in fact, if samsara brings forth an objection. Why I should be always impermanent? This is not fair. All right, no problem. You are permanently discontented. You are permanently unfulfilled. At least something permanent about samsara. So here he says that anityat, who is permanently categorized by impermanence. That which is permanently impermanent, he says, anityat, anityat, and then what else? Anityat, viraktasya. Viraktasya means differentiated from. So now the purvasmat, purvasmat granthat. So from the previous grantha, which is characterized by action oriented, means and end oriented, and impermanent, all of which are impermanent. So impermanence oriented, separated from that is what? Atmajnane adhikaraha. So only for the one who is separated from the penchant for going after permanently impermanent means and ends, karta, karaka, kriya, bheda. So now we are talking of a third person. Who is the third person? So we first had these two epitomizations. Self-ignorance characterized by all those above mentioned things, and self-knowledge characterized by these things. And the self-knowledge is completely opposed to self-ignorance, and I'm coming to that. But this one swallows the other one. Correct? And then now we have the seeker. So the third boon is from the standpoint of the seeker who is walking over from this fellow to that fellow. And what should that person have? The person should have virakti. Virakti is another word for vairagya. What is vairagya? Dispassion, letting go. So what should the person walking over from self-ignorance to self-knowledge should have? What are the characteristics? So vairagya, or letting go of anitya, letting go of impermanence. In fact, by this wonderful stroke, Adi Shankara includes viveka. What is the definition of viveka according to Tattva Bodha? Nitya nitya phala, nitya nitya vastu vivekaha. That is what it is. So that by bringing in anitya and virakti, he slowly, quietly ushers in, viveka also. So he says that the fellow who is walking from these two sides, correct? Which side? The one side which is characterized by agentship, action, fruit, etc. And the one that is characterized by self-knowledge, self-ignorance, and the one that is characterized by vidhi pratishedha, injunctions and prohibitions. So the person who is identified with this section is walking over to the other section, which is what? The movie screen without any of the, free of all superimposition, which gives total contentment. So the person who is walking now, the jiva who is going from one side to the other side, needs a few things. And what do they need to be equipped with? One is viveka, knowing the impermanent. And where is the impermanent reside? This side. The fellow, which is that fellow which is embodied as the embodiment of incarnate self-ignorance. So, first thing is viveka, second thing is vairagya, letting go of the addiction to the following. What is that? Sadhana sadhya lakshana, first thing, means and ends. Various means, competing means and competing ends. Various silly means, silly ends. And where you end up? Discontentment. That is the end. So, and then the second characteristic, the first characteristic is freedom from anitya. And then giving up these small means and ends pursuits, therefore. And then the third characteristic is what? One more thing was mentioned, karma. Giving up addiction to action. That's why minimal engagement with everything. So the person who doesn't have that, who doesn't have that, stays right here, does not walk over. For one to whom it is a walkover, has to have all these things. Only then you can go on the other side. And to demonstrate that, we will be seeing a lot of goodies being dangled in front of the eyes of Nachiketa to make sure that this virakti is in place, and to make sure that these goodies that are being going to be dangled in front of Nachiketa in lieu of what he asks for the third boon are just nindyartham. Ninda. Yeah, Nindyam is to be discarded, to be critiqued. So when he says Shatayusham putra pautran vrinishva, please choose 100 years of life. Please choose Pashun, all kinds of animals I'll give you, exotic animals. Sometimes people like to keep lions and tigers in the house. Don't ask why. And also, I should not go to that verse because that's 3 verses away. So, come back. Okay. So, I'll give you all these things. This pralobhanam kritva. Pralobhanam is to tempt. Yeah. Lobha is greed, but pralobhanam here means temptations. So these temptations are dangled to show that the one who succumbs to the temptation is permanently going to be impermanent. Yes. And then the one who discards these temptations is the one who can walk over from ajnanam to atmajnanam, and therefore these things are given not stutyartham, nindartham, so that we know that this is nindya, this is to be hatavya, to be given up, to abandon. These have to be abandoned in order to understand this. This is why these things will be dangled to make this point clear, that the one who needs to walk over from this to that has to have virakti from sadhana sadhya, from karma, all these things, and also viveka, what to pursue. Okay, further we'll finish this and then take a break, okay, because otherwise it will be dangling. Yeah. So pralobhanam. So iti tan nindartham putradi upanyasena. Upanyasa means through the accounts. Through the accounts of putra, pashu, etc. Through the accounts of you can have many sons, you can have a large empire, etc. These temptations are given more as an aversion therapy. Nachiketa uvacha. Tritiyam varam. Nachiketo vrinishva. Vrinishva iti. Uktasan. Yeah. So, having been told, Uktasan, having been informed, what was he informed? Tritiyam varam Nachiketo vrinishva. Nachiketa, please choose the third boon. Who informed him? Yama. Yeah, be with the flow. Where did he inform him that? Kutra? In the previous verse, Baba. Huh?
Italian garden, yeah. That's where we were going. We were going to his house.
In the previous, look at the last line of the previous verse. Look. What does it say? This is Adi Shankara's beauty. He keeps us on track. Huh? No, read in Sanskrit. Read the last line of the third verse, please. Now.
Tritiyam varam Nachiketa.
Ayyabba. Okay, now I can rest in peace. So, Tritiyam varam Nachiketo vrinishva, that comes from the last line of the verse. He doesn't want you to forget after this long bhashya where we are at. That's why he quotes the last line and he says, having been told, iti uktaha, son, having been told, what? Please Nachiketa, choose the third boon. Oh Nachiketa, please choose the third boon. Nachiketa uvacha. Now Nachiketa is said. What did he say? Yeyam prete. Vichikitsa manushye. Asti ityeke. Nayam asti iti chaike. Etad vidyam. Anushishtastvayaham. Varanamesha. Varastritiyah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. 10-minute break. Come back. Yeah, that was heavy. So we'll have some tea. Amma.